Hello, welcome to a quick video showcasing something I've put a lot of work into over the last week and a half to 2 weeks. So, firstly, under quest rules, we now have a hero menu, which has diagonal movement and large hitbox, which I didn't remove the ones under quest graphics sprites link. They're still there. They still checking one of those checks it here too. They're the same thing. Then there's also these two wonderful things. New hero movement, which is the entire system that I've just designed that I'm going to show off, and disable four-way movement gridlock. So you know how when you try to move in a perpendicular direction to where you've been moving, it like has to snap you to the half tile? This turns that off, and that took much less work than the other thing. That took 5-6 hours. So, um, still a lot of work, but not too much. Under init data now, this is called variables instead of constants because these can all be changed by scripts now, so they're not constant. The gravity stuff's all the same, but now you have hero step here, which I've set to 300. Let me just set that back to 150 for a moment. And I'm going to save, and then let us throw up VC. So right now, step is set to 150. I have a bunch of debug info in the upper left there. And you'll notice that I'm walking fairly normally, though you will notice that when I'm walking horizontally, the top numbers there are, well, I'm walking in general, one of those top numbers is 1.5. That would be because I'm moving 1.5 pixels in that frame. And when I move diagonally, it's that, which is 1.5 times the square root of 2. Now, if I were to disable the new movement quest rule, you'll notice that I move 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and diagonally I just move 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So you notice that this is how movement works normally, but with the new QR on, which, oh, thank God scripts can toggle QRs, makes demonstrating stuff much easier. Diagonal movement is ever so slightly faster. It's more realistic to the purpose of diagonal movement. It's using Pythagorean theorem to determine the actual hypotenuse of your given step rate. So yeah, this works now. You don't get stuck through walls or anything. Stuff works. This is an NES dungeon because I had to test some stuff with that, but it just kind of works. It's nice. You notice that when I shove up against a wall, it removes all of the decimal from the position. That's part of the collision checking needs to do that, or yeah, the collision writing for this took quite a while. Anyway, now I'm going to quickly go back over to ZQuest. And if I set this wonderful init data value to 300, then you will notice that now I move it 3 pixels per frame. So yeah, I just move faster now. Purely from ZQuest. Nothing else needed to touch this. And my diagonal is that speed times the square root of 2. So it matches what it should be. Now I also have a couple of wonderful keys here. You'll notice that bottom number is the step rate. So it's 300 as I said it. I can lower it to 150, 150, or even 0. And now I can't move. Very sluggish. So yeah, that's that. Beware setting it too high. And too high is pretty relative. You need to get it pretty high. So now, yeah, moving at quite this speed is a recipe for clipping through walls. Enemies do the same. That's an obscene speed, though. That 3200 step. I think 2400 step could do the same through half combos. I'm not sure other things. General low steps. If it's below 800, it has no chance of causing clipping, I'm pretty sure. And 800 is already ludicrous speed, so just don't set it too high. Same as enemy step. Use common sense. But now, after all of that, it's time for our wondrous visit to Four-Way Land. Can't move diagonal now. Is me holding diagonal. It's not moving diagonal. Notice I'm moving at this step rate. And I'm also moving not locked to the grid. Now, a couple things of note. Notice that when I walk up to this, it shoves me aside, just like it does in diagonal. That had to be recoded entirely for four-way. That was in diagonal only section of code. So if I come back in here, I can enter that door. Main thing of note, this is a walk-through wall down here. And I can walk through it successfully. I'm slightly surprised as to why that sent me quite that far out the door. I thought I had fixed that. Okay, maybe some slight faking out. Last I had it. This shouldn't affect it, should it? Okay, now it's just going too far in general. Okay. Huh. I wonder what fucked that up. Alright, something to check. I had that before taking you exactly out enough, and now it's not quite working. Dungeon doors are, shall we call them ass? Okay, let's name diagonal again for a moment. Does it happen with diagonal? No. Okay, you know what I did? I probably missed one line of code there. I don't remember if I retested it last in four-way. Yeah, well, small bug. I'll have that fixed before this gets pushed for the next alpha. Of note, also, swimming. I have fast swim speed enabled at the moment, which is in, for anyone who's not aware, this isn't new, but it's in graphics, sprites, link. Swim speed, fast. This should probably be put somewhere else eventually, but easier now. So fast or slow. At fast, you move at 2/3 speed, and at slow, you move at half speed. So, of note, here I'm moving at 3, and now I move at 2 because I'm in fast, so I move at 2/3 speed, and it works properly the way it should. That's always how it worked. That's always the speed modifier it gave, but it works with the variable speed. These wonderful grass tops are slow walk. Walking on slow walk is also 2/3 speed. I have this wonderful sword here, and it has the flag, which I believe was added for 2.55, which is that you walk slower while charging. So now I'm walking at 2/3 speed. And if I'm charging and I walk over slow walk, I walk at half speed. So it kind of stacks. So basically, there's only 3 movements. There's, well, sorry, plus diagonal modification. So there's 3 base movements. There's either full speed, which is just walking. There's 2/3 speed, which is either charging with the sword that has the slow charge flag enabled, or walking on slow walk combos, or swimming with fast swim enabled. And then there's half speed, which is charging with a slow charge sword and walking over slow walk, or swimming with slow speed enabled. And all of that, if you move diagonally, is modified by times square root of 2. This took a long while to get all of this working. Shove is working properly. Just making sure. Oh god, it's difficult with 3 movement, but yeah, the 3 movement, it's a bit tough to show perfectly. If I go to 1 pixel, I can show you exactly where it goes. So this is 6, this is 5, this is 4, and this is 3. The level at which it starts to shove you is different vertically and horizontally. So this it's much more lenient going up and down, but that's because I don't have big hitbox on. If I had big hitbox on, it would be roughly equal. And that's just how it's always worked in diagonal. Like over here in diagonal land, it does exactly the same thing. That's just how it's always worked. Also of note, if you're going to be shoved by a corner here, but you press the I'm in diagonal, so it's not in diagonal. So I'm in 4-way, and I'm going to hold down and left. Notice that it didn't shove me right because I was holding left, so it went left instead. betted, I guess, this was a lot to showcase. I'll go look at that one small oddity with the dungeon walls. I think I know exactly what it is. So that'll be fixed very shortly. And then this should be ready to go. Let me just show off the script for a moment for those who care about scripting. It's all in the buffer, which is, yeah. So pressing R, I have getting rid of any decimal. L for toggling diagonal, if you're a diagonal. These are not actual constant names. I haven't added the constantcity constants yet to modify these QRs, so I just kind of hard-coded them up here. These will have the actual constant names, which are QR new hero movement. This isn't, it used to be old movement, but it became new movement. So that didn't change the name here. And then this one is for toggling the half tile. And then here, hero step plus equal 50 minus equal 50. That's how I was modifying that. Just works. Also, diagonal and big hitbox changes used to reset if you die or F6 continue. They now will not. They will persist. And you need to, if you want to not have that happen, then you want to use the hero script init, which will run every time you die or F6 or whatever, because it runs every time that it creates a new link object, which is when all those things would be reset. Also, the step will not reset when you die or whatever. You'll want to reset that in an init script, and then this is just a bunch of, this is all debug draws. And then here's just, if you notice the bomb wall that just got bombed, it was just an FSC script placing bomb. But, yeah, so you can toggle QRs, you can toggle all QRs in 2.55, these will have proper constants in a minute, and here's how you change the step speed. As long as the new hero movement QR is on, then the step speed affects 4-way and 8-way movement. If the QR new hero movement is off, the step speed affects nothing. 0, zip. Nothing uses it. However, the no half tile is independent. So you don't need new hero movement on for the no half tile to work. That'll work even with the old movement settings. Not that I see much reason to. And also, if you're going to use 4-way movement with a new movement, let's just say I highly recommend. Okay, so yeah, you'll notice that it's a little bit wonky here and having me step in weird ways. The new movement with decimals does not play nice with the half tile grid stuff. So I highly recommend that if you're going to use 4-way with the new movement, you also disable the half tile grid, because it doesn't work well. And there's nothing I can do about that. That's just the half tile grid being bad. So yeah, I don't recommend that. Meanwhile, without the half tile grid, it just works fine. Every way I tell it to go, it goes. So yeah, just a probably longer than I intended video, but showcasing this overall took at least like probably 25 hours of work. This was a large rewrite of all of the movement systems and such. So yeah, took a bit of work. Still have a little bit more because these rules will be turned on by default for new quests, unless if you use the rule presets, it will not be on in the NES emulation preset, because it should work like the NES, it just doesn't work like this. Yeah, so that still needs to be done, and then fixing that one bug with the set forward in 4-way. But that'll be fixed soon. And yeah. You're welcome for all the new stuff I do. This is a lot of work. Now time to fix that up and get packing to go home. Bye.